Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother.
Hey everybody, John Van Dyke here for New Jersey Exposed. Today is Thursday, August 12th, 2021. Time is 5:40 p.m. and let me tell you, it's a very balmy, hot, steamy day kind of time here in New Jersey. Temperatures in the mid to upper 90s with sweltering humidity. But I don't mind. It's better than 20 degrees and the wind blowing, which is not too far off in the distance. Okay, we got another story here. I don't want to say this is a Blue Zero Hero story. I think it's a tragic story, and this involves a ex-Los Angeles police officer who got involved in a shooting in a Costco. This is reported on the desertsun.com, and let's see, they put this out on August 9th, 2021. Reads as follows: ex-LAPD officer arrested, charged with shooting disabled man at Costco after AG reviews case. There's the picture right there. All right, let's find out what happened here. I read some of it, and I'll give you a little heads up. I'm a little up in the air on this one. A former Los Angeles Police Department officer who opened fire during an altercation inside a Corona Costco store in 2019, killing a 32-year-old man and injuring his parents, was arrested Monday on charges of voluntary manslaughter and assault with a semi-automatic firearm. Salvador Sanchez was arrested in Riverside County, according to the State Attorney General's office, which is handling the case. Sanchez had initially avoided prosecution with the Riverside County grand jury, declining 3 months after the shooting to indict him. Riverside County District Attorney Mike Hestron announced at the time he would abide by the grand jury's decision and not pursue a case. But the State Attorney General's office agreed to review the shooting, leading to Monday's arrest. Where there's a reason to believe a crime has been committed, we will seek justice, Attorney General Rob Bonta said in a statement. That's exactly what these charges are about: pursuing justice after an independent and thorough review of the evidence and the law. Ultimately, any loss of life is tragedy, and being licensed to carry a gun doesn't mean you're not accountable for how you use it. No matter who you are, nobody is above the law. The charges stem from the shooting that occurred June 14, 2019 inside the Costco store at 480 North McKinley Street, killing Kenneth French, who was described by his family as nonverbal and intellectually disabled. French's parents, Russell and Paola, were both wounded in the shooting. So the question I have, if you got a son or a family member who has some issues, is it a good idea to take him out into public? Corona police said the then off-duty officer was shopping at Costco. So here he is, he's out with his family, minding his business, okay? Just keep this scenario in your mind. He was shopping at Costco with his family, holding his child in his arms, when without provocation, a male unknown to the officer's family assaulted the officer. The Frenches were shopping when they approached a food sample table with sausages. Sanchez was also at the sample table, holding his son, officials said. The French family and their attorney, Dale Gallipo, have conceded that Kenneth French shoved Sanchez to the ground for unknown reasons. Okay, so that's the first problem. This mentally challenged person pushed the cop, off-duty cop, ex-cop, whatever he is, to the ground. Now, you know that's going to trigger him. According to the officer's attorney, David Winslow, Sanchez briefly lost consciousness, and when he awoke, he was on the ground and his 18-month-old son was next to him screaming. Winslow said the officer had no choice but to use deadly force. Now, I don't agree with that at all. So, Suppose you are at the Costco's and you're over at the sausage tasting table, and this gentleman and his mother and father come over and he knocks you to the ground. What are you going to do? I don't think it was a life-threatening situation in this situation. I mean, the rest of us, we'd get up and, depending on if it's a continual attack, we would fight back, or either fight or flight, one of the two. Try to assess the situation. But you know how these cops are. Once a cop, always a cop. Immediately they got to go for the gun, and they got to hurt you. In this case, he immediately wanted to shoot and kill. That was his immediate reaction, rather than saying, wait a second, is this guy back on top of me? What's going on? So Winslow said the officer had no choice but to use deadly force. Well, we know that's not true. He had choices. Winslow released a statement calling AG's decision a political stunt that does absolutely nothing to protect the public. Well, maybe it does. We don't need all these off-duty cops running around with a handgun, and the minute they have a mental issue, think all of a sudden got fear in their head that they're going to shoot somebody over the littlest things. The arrest of Sal Sanchez is a product of a politically motivated program by the California Attorney General to prosecute police officers. Winslow said Sal was not acting as a police officer when he was attacked. Well, what does that have to do with anything? You got attacked. You may not have been acting as a police officer when you got attacked, but after you got attacked, it appears he was acting as a police officer, because he immediately went for the gun. He was off duty acting as a father in self-defense and protecting his child. Well, his child did not get hit. He got hit. French family has claimed they pleaded with Sanchez not to shoot, telling the officer that their son, who had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and was largely nonverbal, had mental health issues. Again, this family here, this French family, had no business bringing this guy out into public. They created the situation. They also claim that they were backing away from Sanchez when the shooting occurred. So the question is, did Sanchez pull the gun out while he was on the ground and fire from down below, or did he get up and then fire? So I would say if he got up with the gun and was standing and fired, then I would say Sanchez is in the wrong. If he fired when he was down and French was leering over him, I might give him a pass on this one, but based on what I'm reading here, it sounds like he was standing up and he had a few seconds to gather his thoughts. Telling the officer that the son, who had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and was largely nonverbal, had mental health issues. They also claimed they were backing away from Sanchez when the shooting occurred. Now, just a reminder, people, as I've been saying, as we all know, these cops, and when I say these cops, I don't mean all cops, just the ones that behave like this, they are going to resort to violence to solve a problem. They don't know any other method but violence. That's why you never call them to your house if you're having family problems, because they're just going to show up and they're going to resolve your family problem with violence. The Los Angeles police, hold on a second. They also claim they were backing away from Sanchez when the shooting occurred. Corona police said earlier that Kenneth French was shot once in the shoulder and 3 times in the back. All right, well, that's a problem. Why did he shoot him in the back? And why did he unload 4 rounds into him? While Paola French was shot in the back and her husband was shot in the abdomen, resulting in loss of a kidney. Boy, those two are lucky to be alive. But you know what? They created this problem. And unfortunately, this cop is a victim of these 2 idiots that brought their son out into public. Later determined that Sanchez acted outside department policies by drawing his weapon and using deadly force. LAPD Chief Michael Moore's reported in the incident stated the officer felt as if he had been shot after being struck by French. When Sanchez looked back at French, the officer said it appeared French may have been holding a firearm. Well, that's the old go-to statement. I take that with a grain of salt, people. French may have been holding a firearm, although one was not recovered in French's possession. French's parents sued Los Angeles and the officer. Los Angeles Superior Court lawsuit. I think this officer should turn around and sue these people because they, the Frenches, as I said before, I sound like a broken record, they created this problem by bringing their mentally challenged son out in the public. Los Angeles Superior Court lawsuit alleges battery, negligence, civil rights violation, both intentional and negligent infliction of emotional distress. What about the officer who got shoved to the ground? Where's the French's responsibility in this one? Gallipo, the French family attorney, called the shooting a complete overreaction on behalf of the police officer. You forgot that, and it's also it's a complete result of two idiots, two morons, who brought their mentally challenged adult son into a Costco. And if anybody's ever been into a Costco, at least the ones around where I'm at, I've been in a Costco, it was on a Saturday, and it's usually pretty damn crowded in there. Alright, that looks to be the end of the story there. So this is an unfortunate situation. The cop's out minding his business with his kid and his family, and next thing you know, he's got some nut, knocks him to the ground, and he overreacts. Or his only reaction was, goes to the gun, get up and put 4 bullets into the guy, and it sounds to me like a couple of those bullets went through the victim and hit the parents, and they are lucky to be alive, the one that lost the kidney. Very unfortunate situation. Unfortunate for the cop. It's tough. I don't think he should be, he didn't get up in the morning going out to murder anybody. He didn't respond to a call with the intent to murder anybody. I just think it's a bad situation. And
check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Well, think about it. He might have done the parents some good. If this guy was a nut job, he probably did them a favor. Not to sound facetious or anything, but they don't have to deal with him anymore, and now they got a little payout from the city. I'll put the link in the description. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Until next time, people.